Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and I'm telling you about my Shamanic Healer course. I've been teaching this worldwide for over 20 years now, and I'm speaking to you from near the healing centre I run with Maggie Pashley in the far west of Ireland on the Atlantic coast. Shamanism is the bedrock spirituality of humankind. It's deeply ancient. It's fully connected to the vision world and our vision capability. It's fully attuned to healing. It's been overridden by more structured and conceptualized spiritual forms, but its power remains. I feel that shamanism opens us to the vastness and to the other worlds. It underlies so many spiritual forms. I feel my first conscious experience of shamanism was when I was, I don't know, maybe 9, 10, when I found I could shamanically journey, in other words, travel away from my body to other places. And of course I had absolutely no framework for understanding that ability. And it came in a big way, incidentally, when Neptune in my birth chart was very much activated, let's say 15 years ago. And so in this brief promotional video, I want to tell you about two things. The first is Shamanic Journeying, which is the foundation of shamanism, and the second is just one of the shamanic healing techniques I teach. So you can see the full list on my Earth Star Web website, www.earthstarweb.com. But obviously there isn't time in a brief promotional video to do even mention of the full list. And each method is taught by sending you two audios. One is a presentation audio and the other is a journeying audio. And so you learn to heal yourself using these several shamanic healing methods. And so you can heal others. And indeed, in part 2 of the course, we move on to a situation where in communication with me, you heal others. So I have such a deep reverence for the part shamanic healing and shamanism and shamanic journeying have placed in my life. And when you move into shamanic journeying and shamanic healing, basically you learn to develop your visionary capabilities. And of course, to those you can add clairvision and clairaudience, you can rapidly summon up visions. You could find yourself entering a shamanic journey and immediately being presented by a vision truth, not necessarily the one you sought. You may have had a purpose in mind for your shamanic journey, but that's not what your soul wanted, necessarily. But also it's about body energies. And in the course we learn, for example, to run our hands and our awareness over the energy systems of the client, the person who needs to be healed. and note what realizations and perceptions come to our mind, and then do energy healing. But of course there isn't time in this brief promotional video to go into all that. So what I want you to do is first of all have a tiny taste of shamanic journeying, and then a tiny discussion of soul retrieval, for example. I nearly said palm animal retrieval, but let's say soul retrieval. Now, shamanic journeying can be very structured, and that has a value. Or it can be totally free-form and trance-like, and that has a value. So in Module 1 of my Shamanic Healer course, well, you're sent a very structured journey format, where we journey across Middle-earth, and for example, walk across Middle-earth towards the world tree, so that you can journey for perception and healing and other purposes on Middle-earth, or you can go down the roots of the tree into the underworld, or you can go up the roots of the tree to contact guides. Secondly, you can have a less structured but still intentional shamanic journey, where you journey to understand a particular issue you're facing in your life. I can't do this, I can't do that. What's the future of this situation? There's no guarantee that there's answers to that or what's going to be given you, because your true self, your deep self, may feel you have more important agendas and you need to open to them. But in this second type of journey, you learn to see things, and immediately situations, images, people come to you. And thirdly, there's the absolutely open, pure trance journey. So when you're doing the course, you do those different foundation journeys, for example, and each time email me, tell me how you got on. And a very special feature of my courses is that I always look deeply at your astrology, your Western astrology, which depicts your psychological self. It's psychodynamic, and validly so. And your Vedic astrology, which uses the sidereal zodiac, which depicts your incarnational destiny and life purpose. And I always refer to both, and of course I also bring in the outer planets that were discovered since Vedic astrology was formulated. Uranus, Neptune and Pluto that have entered the human consciousness at the dates they were discovered. And of course the wonderful and important Chiron, the wounded healer. So I won't go into any more detail on the astrology, but it is a very valuable underpinning to your shamanic path. So you might like to have this tiniest taste of a shamanic journey before I talk about soul retrieval, which is the only method I'm just going to touch on in this promotional video. So, what you would do if you're going to have a shamanic journey is quieten yourself. Find a protected environment, free from intrusion. Turn off the phones, obviously. Make yourself comfortable lying down or sitting in a chair. Maybe blindfold yourself. And then start the journey. Maybe you'd be listening to one of the 3 audios I offer. Maybe you'd be walking along the road across Middle-earth towards the world tree. What do you see? How are you holding yourself? Who are you with, if anyone? Who or what do you meet? maybe you see a tree that has a particular energy. For example, the holly, which speaks of the need for defense. For example, the oak, which is supremely hard, long-living and enduring. Maybe an important place comes to your mind, and you need to remember what you learned at that place, or go to that place. Your mind enters more and more into the vision world. Your ability to have visions arise becomes more and more instant and powerful. And always at the end of any journey you return to your body and consciously and physically re-inhabit your body in this world, in Middle-earth. So that's a mini demonstration of shamanic journeying. But shamanic journeying can be used for a number of forms of shamanic healing. And indeed it's true that in my genetic lineage, my lineage reaches back to shamanic people. So I'd just like to mention soul retrieval. This is a wonderful form of shamanic healing. Basically, soul retrieval is where we encounter a split off part of ourselves. The splitting off normally occurs when there's a traumatic experience. And so you might journey to find out what split off part or parts you have. Or indeed, your energy body could be scanned to identify these. And so it might be that you find that you need to work with your Michael aged 11 or whoever it is. And the point is that when we have a split off part, we aren't whole. We cannot speak our truth. Our self, our divine self, represented by the sun in our astrology, is divided and weakened. Others may sense weakness, and just like the runt of the litter, they can go in for the kill and go in for the kill and go in for the kill. And so what you can do in soul retrieval is go and identify what the split off part of you is. And it's crucial to do this because if you don't know it consciously, if you aren't aware of it, then that split off part can be running the show. And you could think, well, why am I always doing this? Why am I doing that? Why don't I have the power to assert myself in relationship or chart a strong course forward in career or manage the day? But if you journey to the split off part of yourself, then you could begin to make healing. And basically, you do a number of journeys meeting the split off part who could be very, very hurt, very angry, very dysfunctional. And you befriend that split off part with the ultimate goal of bringing that split off part fully into your body, into your consciousness, acknowledged, valued, and its expression healed and you empowered. So I hope this very brief video has given you some idea, a tiny idea, of the vast potential of shamanic journeying and healing when done ethically, when done well. Avoid shamanic teachers who are full of ego, full of themselves. That's not how it should be done. It's the most deeply ancient spiritual path there is. It's the bedrock spirituality of humankind. So look at my Shamanic Healer page on my Earthstar Web website and get in touch. Thank you.